Those who tell the world about their victories often discover that the world likes to sabotage rather than applaud, and it is in this lesson that wisdom begins. Happiness likes silence and simplicity, because when you show it too much, it usually runs away into the arms of discretion. If you want to avoid dream thieves, do not hang your achievements like a trophy for all to see. Some looks are sharper than knives. Nothing arouses envy like a whisper of success, but a shout of glory attracts not only the envious, but also the opportunists. There are people who live to celebrate their downfalls, so be careful who you invite to the party of your victories. The world is not a fair court, and when you present your achievements as evidence, it finds a way to turn them into accusations. Before continuing, just check if you are already subscribed to this channel, because I am preparing a special series with the best quotes from Mark Twain to help you face life with more ease and purpose. The only thing that grows faster than your happiness when spread to the four winds is the list of people waiting for it to end. In the eyes of many, your success is a crime that needs to be punished. So celebrate quietly and live with fewer judges around you. If happiness were gold, those who shout that they have found it soon discover that the crowd does not want to celebrate, but rather dig for a piece. Great achievements are born in silence and die in uproar, because it is in the shadows that the seeds grow strongest. Life teaches, with its usual irony, that the most valuable moments are those that you do not share with the whole world. The best celebrations are those that happen in your soul, because there is no audience that truly appreciates something that it cannot take for itself. Those who count their blessings out loud end up discovering that some around them have an innate ability to calculate how much they would like to be yours. Storms of envy are born from the smallest ray of happiness that you let escape from your mouth. Therefore, control the timing of your words. Living in peace is a luxury, and shouting to the world about your tranquility is the quickest way to attract those who want to steal it. Success loves those who treat it like a secret, because it knows that that way it has a better chance of lasting. Happiness is like a shy visitor. If you make too much noise, it disappears before it even settles in. Never underestimate the power of a well-kept silence. It is the most effective shield against the malicious eye. If the world knew the importance of keeping its victories to itself, perhaps it would be a less noisy and happier place. Some achievements are like rare birds. The more you show them off, the more people appear to try to capture them. It is no wonder that the good things in life are compared to gold. Those who find them keep them in silence to avoid unwanted minors. Shouted joy is like a banquet in the public square. It attracts guests you never invited and who rarely thank you. The secret to keeping what is good in life is simple. Say as little as possible and do as much as possible. If happiness had an official language, it would be silence, because it is in silence that it finds the security to prosper. Those who spread their luck too much end up discovering that the world loves to transform it into magic that disappears. Celebrating out loud is like casting bait into the sea. You never know whether you will attract fish or sharks. A victory announced is like a castle without walls. It soon becomes the target of the barbarians of envy. There is no stronger wall to protect your happiness than discretion, and there is no greater enemy than a loose tongue. Great achievements become easy targets when you hold them too high, because everyone loves to throw stones at the top. The secret to avoiding envy is to appear as if you are merely surviving, even when you are secretly thriving. If you want to keep the peace, treat your victories as buried treasure, because there is no map the world will not try to steal. Those who boast of their victories are often just digging the hole for their next defeats. Joy is not a show-off, but an observer. The less you talk about it, the more it likes to stick around. If you do boast about your happiness, remember, the world is quick to turn a fairy tale into a tragedy. Some say sharing is kindness, but with happiness, sharing is risky, because few want to just listen, many want to take it. Your inner peace is not a spectacle for the world, so leave it off stage and enjoy it behind the scenes of your life. The tongue is the shortest bridge to envy, so before crossing it with your victories, think twice if it is worth the weight of the crowd. Happiness loves the sound of silence, because it is in it that it feels most protected from the clutches of the curious and the opportunists. In the eyes of the world, success is a flag that you raise and in return, attract both allies and enemies. If you want your achievements to live in peace, treat them as if they were invisible. The worldview is rarely a friend of peace. Those who learn to smile without explaining why discover that happiness does not need applause to be real. Those who make a spectacle of their own happiness soon discover that the audience always prefers drama to a happy ending. Life is generous to those who learn to keep quiet, because even the best stories need mystery to be memorable. The victories you spread are seeds of envy that the wind of indiscretion carries directly to the garden of opportunists. Life's most valuable secrets need no advertising, because it is in silence that true wealth blooms. If happiness were a scent, the more you try to spread it, the more the wind of envy dissipates it before it reaches those who deserve it. The biggest mistake humans make is to confuse sharing happiness with hanging it on a billboard, forgetting that not every look is friendly. Peace and success are like rare birds. They only remain where there is no noise or predators. Celebrating in silence is not hiding from the world, but protecting your joy from those who only know how to steal the shine of others. Happiness loves the company of humility and silence, because it knows that arrogance always invites a fall. The world is a curious mirror. When you reflect happiness in excess, it responds with looks that distort and hearts that weigh. Some life lessons come as whispers, and those who shout their achievements too loudly seldom hear them. Success is a houseguest who prefers to stay in discreet places. If you make too much noise, it may leave without warning. If you want your happiness to last, treat it like a secret romance, intensely lived but rarely spoken of. Fate has a peculiar sense of humor. It loves to show how fragile we are when we think we are invincible. Happiness does not like the spotlight, because in bright lights, even the purest things can seem artificial. Those who announce their victories to the world are often the first to realize that the world loves to see castles crumble. Living discreetly is an art that few master, but it is the only way to keep envy at bay and peace close by. A loose tongue is the enemy of a peaceful heart. The less you say, the more secure your happiness remains. Tranquility only flourishes in soils of humility and silence. Too much noise attracts unnecessary storms. Let me tell you something important. The simple fact that you took the time to listen to these lessons already makes you the most intelligent and far ahead of most people. It doesn't matter how you listen to these quotes, whether you're washing the dishes, cleaning the house, exercising, or lying down for a moment of rest. If you were able to reflect, that's what matters. Tell me in the comments below, what are you doing while you listen to these lessons? Success doesn't need shouting to be real, but the world loves to tear down those who expose themselves too loudly. Celebrating loudly is like raising a flag in times of war. You draw attention to what should remain protected. Happiness is fragile as thin glass. The more people try to touch it, the greater the chance of it breaking. There is nothing more effective in scaring away good fortune than shouting it from the rooftops. Fortune prefers the silent. Life's greatest achievements are silent, because noise has never been a friend of depth or wisdom. The secret of a life well lived is simple: celebrate more internally and talk less externally. When you spread your happiness, it dilutes, but when you guard it, it grows like a flame protected from the wind. Silence is the armor of happiness. Without it, you become an easy target for envy and criticism. The victories that shine brightest are those that do not need spectators. They are self-sufficient. Those who understand the value of living without the spotlight discover that the light of success is brighter when it is not overshadowed by the opinions of others. Those who know how to keep their achievements are the same ones who learn to savor the sweet without having to share every bite. The world always offers two gifts to success: loud applause and silent stoning. It is up to you to choose which one you want to receive. Happiness that is kept silent is like a calm river, deep, constant, and free from storms. Tranquility is the friend of the discreet and the enemy of those who turn every victory into a headline for those who did not ask to read it. If you learn not to count your blessings out loud, you will find that they multiply away from prying eyes. The achievements that last the longest are those that are hidden from the world until they are strong enough to face it. Life is most poetic when you live it as a book closed to the public, but open to those who truly matter. The greatest test of success is to resist the temptation to turn it into a spectacle. Because the world loves to turn out other people's lights. If you shout your joy to the world, remember that not all ears are friendly, and that some tongues love to echo bad luck. The best stories in life are the ones that only you know, because in private they blossom without interruption. The world's applause has a habit of arriving late and leaving too soon, while criticism never misses an opportunity to arrive at the right time. Those who announce every step of their victories often end up stumbling over their own words before they reach their destination. If happiness were gold, whispers would be coffers, while screams would be mere bags with holes that let out what is most valuable. Celebrating your life in silence is the only way to ensure that envy does not become the main course at the banquet of your joy. Those who are quick to share their happiness often find that some people prefer to use such news as ammunition rather than inspiration. The best life lessons never need an audience, because the real learning happens behind the scenes, away from prying eyes. The irony of happiness is that the more you try to show it, the more it seems to hide, like a shy child in a room full of strangers. The world loves to watch the spectacle of other people's happiness, but the ticket usually comes at the price of having your privacy thrown to the lions. If you want to keep your peace, never turn your achievements into headlines, because the press of envy works fast and without scruples. The most lasting joy is the one you experience without the need to transmit it, because silence protects what noise destroys. Some lessons in life are so precious that they become stronger when shared only with those who value them, and not with those who envy them. The world is an unstable stage, where those who shout the loudest rarely leave without losing their balance, and the audience is always ready to laugh. True happiness is like a well-adjusted clock. It works best when no one is trying to adjust it or comment on it. People love to hear about your victories, but it is curious how most prefer to collect your failures as trophies in their own minds. If you want to live in peace, treat your happiness as a well-kept secret, because the world rarely values what is openly shared. Life has a strange ability to bring down those who climb too quickly on the ladder of pride, especially those who carry a megaphone. Happiness, when overexposed, is like a ripe fruit. It attracts the eyes of the hungry and the hands of the opportunists. If you learn to savor joy in silence, you will find that it tastes sweeter when it is not diluted by the opinions of others. Those who boast of their achievements often forget that the echo of their words can attract friends and foes alike. Happiness is like a flame on a windy night. The less you try to display it, the more it shines safely. Too much celebration is like singing in the middle of a storm. You never know if you are being heard or if you are just inviting more thunder. The secret to happiness is not to hide it, but to protect it from the curiosity of others, because not every shining eye reflects admiration. Those who proclaim their own good fortune to the world soon discover that envy is a cloud that loves to hover over the brilliance of others. If life were a book, the most valuable pages would be those you write in silence, because shouted words never survive criticism. Those who build castles of happiness with bricks of pride rarely have foundations strong enough to withstand the attacks of the world. Life's most important lessons don't need to be announced, because silence has the power to teach what words cannot. If you want to keep your achievements off the radar of envy, learn to celebrate with your heart rather than with your tongue. Success doesn't need a loudspeaker to be real, but the world rarely believes it, so it's better to let it suspect than to prove something. Those who share their joy as if it were a gift to the world often find that the world would rather steal it than celebrate it. Silence is an investment that always yields more than noise, especially when it comes to guarding your own victories. Happiness is not meant to be displayed, but to be felt. The rest is just distraction for those who do not know what really matters. As you reflect on these powerful Mark Twain quotes, remember that wisdom is not just about hearing them, but about applying them to your daily life. How many times have you found yourself stuck in limiting thoughts or feeling like you weren't living your life to the fullest? Each of these quotes is a powerful insight to help you transform your mindset and live more authentically and courageously. If you feel inspired and want to continue this journey of personal development, be sure to watch the other videos on the channel. Each new quote can be the boost you need to face your challenges with greater strength and clarity.